Hello, this is William Smith. I'm the founding broker for the Carmel Luxury Group at Coldwell Banker Realty here on the Monterey Peninsula. And I have the pleasure today of introducing you to Marina Watts. Thank you very much for coming, Marina.
William, thanks for having me.
Good. Well, you're a reverse mortgage expert with high-tech lending. So I'm going to first ask, what is high-tech lending?
Sure, High Tech Lending is a top 10 lender in California that focuses on reverse mortgages, but actually does pretty much every kind of mortgage under the sun.
Good. Well, that's good to know. And tell me about you. How did you get into reverse mortgage?
Oh, that's kind of a long story, William. But actually, my first home that I bought in 2007. So you know what happens after that.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So
Uh-huh.
that was a huge learning experience for me. And a friend at the time who was doing reverse mortgages said, too bad you weren't 62 or older. Maybe you could have done a reverse mortgage on your house.
That's wonderful information, actually, because it tells me that you've been doing this for a long time. So
Actually,
that's
I have. I've been
awesome.
doing it for over 10 years, reverse only, and I love it. I love working with boomers and older homeowners to help them access some of the equity in their house.
Good. Well, that's a sweet spot for us because as a boomer, a lot of my clients and Carmel Luxury Group's clients are boomers taking care of their estate or their parents' estate. I have a
Right.
95-year-old mother that's still independent and she's going to probably need to make some decisions here. And that's when I give you a call. So why don't we move into what is a reverse mortgage?
Right. So if you've ever had a traditional mortgage, it's a lender lending you money based on the value of the home and the amount of equity you have. So reverse mortgage is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a lender lending you money based on the appraised value of the home. And in this case, your age. Okay. So in California, you have to be at least 55 years old to get a reverse mortgage.
Uh-huh.
The lender's going to look at your age, the home value, current interest rates, and that's going to determine how much they can lend you. The big difference between a reverse mortgage and a regular mortgage is the reverse mortgage, you are not required to make monthly payments. That's
That's
the only
interesting.
difference.
Okay, that leads me to I have a series of questions, and one of them I'm going to read right down here. When do you have to pay the reverse mortgage lender back, and how do you pay the monthly payments?
So you're not required to make monthly payments. That's the game changer.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's the game changer. So it sounds too good to be true, but really all it is that the interest that you would typically be paying, principal and interest every month, is now being added to the end of the loan balance, and it will be paid when you leave the house. That's when the loan has to be paid back, when you leave the house.
Wow. Okay, so who qualifies for this kind of mortgage?
So age 55 or older in
Uh-huh.
California, and you want to have usually around 50% equity. This is a round number. So if you have a $2 million house and you have a $1 million current mortgage, that means you still have 50% equity, and we could likely do a reverse mortgage.
Wow, that's great. Now, what if I wanted to buy that $2 million house and I had 50% down?
Perfect.
Why?
It
Could
would
I
be
get a reverse
exactly the
mortgage?
same. It's a reverse for purchase. You bring the 50% down, the reverse brings in the other 50%, and then you wouldn't have a mortgage payment.
I love what I'm hearing. Great. And you did say 55. I thought it was older than that.
There's two types of reverse mortgage programs. The main reverse mortgage program that's been around for a long time, it's the age is 62. At least one spouse has to be 62.
Uh-huh.
You could have a younger spouse. So that's the age for the traditional home equity conversion mortgage that is FHA insured and HUD regulated. But
Uh-huh.
now we have proprietary, AKA jumbo reverse mortgages that look at a higher home value, and that minimum age requirement is 55.
Wow. All right. Good. Well, that's actually amazing to me that at 55 you get this reverse mortgage benefit that you have. I'm looking down here. My next question, can you do a reverse mortgage if you already have a mortgage? So, what's the answer to that one?
The answer is yes. And that's actually the number one most common reason why boomers might do a reverse mortgage. Let's say they're getting ready to retire, but oops, they refinanced maybe once or twice or more during the last 20 years, and they still have a significant mortgage on their house, but they
Uh-huh.
want to retire. That's going to be their biggest bill every month. So we do a refinance into a reverse mortgage. We pay off that existing mortgage. The reverse mortgage goes in its place, and now they don't have a monthly payment.
And so that my balance would grow if I did that with my current mortgage.
Correct. With a traditional mortgage, you've got to make that payment every
Mhm.
month for 30 years and your balance goes down on the loan.
Uh-huh.
With the reverse, it's the opposite, where you're not making any payments, so your loan balance is going to go up.
All right. So my next question I have written down here, how much money can you get with a reverse mortgage? Let's say I own my house free and clear and I wanted to get
Okay.
some money. How much could I
Yeah.
get? And how could I get
Yeah.
it?
Right. So actually about 60% of homeowners today own their houses free and clear. And that's obviously the best position to be in.
Hmm.
What is going to determine how much money you can get is your age. How old are you? What's your date of birth? That's the second question I'm going to ask you. And so, depending on how old you are, that will determine how much you can borrow. In
Uh-huh.
other words, the loan is based on life expectancy. If you're only 55, it might be somewhere about a 35% loan to value.
Uh-huh.
Okay. If you're 80, it's going to be more like 60 or higher percent loan to value.
Oh, okay. So obviously you don't want to have that money coming to you and then the balance building if you're at 55 so that it outpaces the ability for the client
Right.
to
The
so
lender doesn't want that. 55, you could be living in the house another, if you like your mom, another 40 years.
yeah. Okay.
So that's a long time to have the loan. So it is really based on your age. Mhm.
Oh, interesting. Good. So my last question that I had written down is, are there options for how you receive the funds in the reverse mortgage? If let's say I had no mortgage, can I take it out in a lump sum? Do I take it out
Yes.
monthly? How does that work?
Right. So if you have no mortgage today, you're free and clear, you've got a ton of options. It's almost think of it like an a la carte menu. You could
Uh-huh.
do a combination of options. I've had people get cash out, maybe for immediate use, right?
Uh-huh.
Maybe to pay off bills, maybe to make home improvements. Then you could get a monthly check every month, and that's
Okay.
guaranteed for as long as you're living in the house. And you could also get a line of credit, which is the most popular option. It gives you access to funds on an as needed basis for as long as you're living in the house.
Well, that brings up my last question. Absolutely. So what happens if, let's say, 10 years after I get a reverse mortgage, I decide I want to move to, let's say, a senior care facility or
Okay.
be closer. Like my mother at 95 just moved in with my sister in an ADU. What do I do with my reverse mortgage at that point?
So if you are going to sell the house or move out, it's no longer your primary residence. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, number one, the reverse mortgage is only for the senior who takes out the loan. It's not assumable. And it does become due if you decide to sell or move away. It becomes due. So basically, you or your heirs have a number of options. You can simply pay the loan balance if the trust perhaps has the funds to pay the loan balance. You can sell the house and pay off the reverse mortgage out of escrow. And then the
Uh-huh.
remaining equity goes to the trust or heirs or to yourself if you're still living. So those are the two main scenarios that come into play when you decide, look, I want to move and I want to live somewhere else. You do have to pay it back, and most people just pay it out of escrow when they sell the house.
All right. So if my daughter were to inherit my house, does she have to pay it off right away? What happens?
Okay,
What
sure.
happens then?
So you're saying you maybe passed away and your daughter's set to inherit your home?
Mhm. Right.
Okay, great. And hopefully the house is in a trust, because if it wasn't, it would go into probate, and that
Right.
takes a year.
Right.
So I always encourage people, make sure your house is in a trust.
All right.
So that would be fine. So your daughter would have the options again to either, if she's just planning on selling the house anyway, that's the easiest solution, sell the property and pay the reverse mortgage loan balance out of escrow. If she's
Mhm.
like, look, I really want to move into the house, my dad's house, then she's going to have to come up with the money, or the trust is going to have to come up with the money to pay off the loan balance of the reverse mortgage, and that's fine.
All right. Does she have to do it right away or does she have?
Yeah, so she would want to work with the lender. Typically, the loan can become due when, let's say, the person who borrowed the money passes away or leaves the home. It does become due, but you work with the lender, and typically you can get 6 months up to a year with extensions if you request them, and let the lender know, what is your intention? How do you plan on paying back the loan? So that's the typical time frame.
Good. Well, that answers a lot of questions for me, and I'm sure for our audience about what a reverse mortgage does and when it works and when you qualify and what you have to do when you don't qualify anymore. So thank you, Marina Watts at High Tech Lending. The next question, obviously, everybody watching this is going to have is how do they get hold of you to get more information about reverse mortgages?
Yeah, for sure, William. The best way to reach me is just to give me a call at 831-535-9760. That's my direct number.
All
And I'm
right.
happy to answer questions. And also, you can just check out my website at marinawatts.com. And they'll also have my email address and my phone number on there.
All right. That wraps it up. I sure appreciate all of your help, and I'm looking forward to getting started with reverse mortgages with you.
Great. Thanks, William. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.